Have you ever forgotten your phone? When did you realize you've forgotten it? I'm guessing you didn't just smack your forehead and exclaim, "Damn," a promise of nothing. The realization probably didn't dawn on you spontaneously. More likely you reached for your phone, pawing open your pocket or handbag, and were momentarily confused by it not being there. Then you did a mental restab of the morning's events. Shit. In my case, my phone's alarm woke me up as normal, but I realized the battery was lower than I expected. It was a new phone, and I had this annoying habit of leaving applications running that would drain the battery overnight. So I put it to charge while I was showering instead of putting it into my bag like normal. It was a momentary slip from the routine, but that was all it took. Once I was in the shower, my brain got back into the routine it follows every single morning, and that was it. Forgotten. This wasn't just me being clumsy, as I later researched. This is a recognized brain function. Your brain doesn't just work on one level, it works on many. Like when you're walking somewhere, you think about the destination and avoiding hazards, but you don't think about keeping your legs moving properly. If you did, the entire world would just turn into a massive hilarious Quap cosplay. I wasn't thinking about regulating my breathing. I was thinking whether I should grab a cup of coffee on my drive to work, of which I did. I wasn't thinking about moving my breakfast through my intestines. I was wondering whether I'd finish on time to pick up my daughter Emily from the nursery, or get stuck with another late fee. This is the thing. There's a level of your brain that just deals with routine, so that the rest of the brain can think about other things. Think about it. Think about your last commute. What do you actually remember? Little, if anything, properly. Most journeys blur into one, and recalling any one in particular is scientifically proven to be difficult. Do something often enough and it becomes routine. Keep doing it and it stops being processed by the thinking bit of the brain and gets relegated to the part of the brain dedicated to dealing with routine. Your brain keeps doing it without you thinking about it. Soon, you think about your routine to work as much as you do keeping your legs moving when you walk. As in, not at all. Most people call it autopilot, but there's danger there. If you have a break in your routine, your ability to remember and account for the break is only as good as your ability to stop your brain from going into routine mode. My ability to remember my phone being on the counter is only as reliable as my ability to stop my brain entering morning routine mode, which would dictate that my phone is actually in my bag. I didn't stop my brain entering routine mode. I got in the shower. Routine started. Exception forgotten. Autopilot engaged. My brain was back in the routine. I showered, I shaved. The radio forecasted amazing weather. I gave Emily her breakfast and loaded her into the car. She was so adorable that morning. She complained about the bad sun in the morning blinding her, saying it stopped her having little sleep on the way to the nursery. And left. That was the routine. It didn't matter that my phone was on the counter, charging silently. My brain was in the routine, and in the routine, my phone was in my bag. This is why I forgot my phone. Not clumsiness, not negligence, nothing more. My brain entering a routine mode and overriding the exception. Autopilot engaged. I left for work. It's a swelteringly hot day already. The bad sun had been burning since before my traitorously absent phone woke me. The steering wheel was burning hot to the touch when I sat down. And I think I heard Emily shift over behind my seat to get out of the glare. But I got to work, submitted the report, attended the morning meeting, and it's not until I took a quick coffee break and reached for my phone that the illusion shattered. I did a mental restep. I remembered the dying battery. I remembered putting it to charge. And I remember leaving it there. My phone was on the counter. Autopilot disengaged. Again, therein lies the danger. Until you have that moment, the moment that you reach for your phone and shatter the illusion, that part of your brain is still in routine mode. It is no reason to question the facts of the routine. That's why it's a routine. Attrition of repetition. It's not as if anyone could say, "Why didn't you remember your phone? Didn't it occur to you? How could you forget? You must be negligible." This is to miss the point. My brain was telling me the routine was complete as normal, despite the fact that it wasn't. It wasn't that I forgot my phone. According to my brain, according to the routine, my phone was in my bag. Why would I think to question it? Why would I check? Why would I all of a sudden remember out of nowhere that my phone was on the counter? My brain was wired into the routine, and the routine was my phone was in my bag. The day continued to bake. The morning haze gave way to the fever heat of the afternoon. Tarmac bubbled. The direct beams of the heat threatened to crack the pavement. People were beginning to swap coffees for iced smoothies. Jackets were discarded, sleeves were rolled up, and ties were loosened. The parks slowly filled with sunbathers and barbecues. Window frames threatened to wrap, the thermometers continued to swell, and thank fuck the offices were air-conditioned. But as ever, the furnace of the day gave way to a cooler evening. Another day, another dollar, still cursing myself for forgetting my phone. And so I drove home. The day's heat had baked inside the car, releasing a horrible smell from somewhere. When I arrived on the driveway, the stones were crushing comfortingly under my tires, and my wife greeted me at the door. "Where's Emily?" Fuck. As if my phone wasn't bad enough. After everything, I'd left Emily at the fucking nursery after all. I immediately sped back to the nursery, got to the door and started practicing my excuses, wondering vainly if I could charm my way through a late fee. I saw a piece of paper stuck on the door. "Due to vandalism overnight, please use side door. Today only." Overnight? What? The door was fine this morning. I froze. My knees shook. Vandals. A change of the routine. My phone was on the counter. I hadn't been here this morning. My phone was on the counter. I'd driven past because I was drinking my coffee. I didn't drop off Emily. My phone was on the counter. She moved her seat. I hadn't seen her in the mirror. My phone was on the counter. She'd fallen asleep out in the bad sun. She didn't speak when I drove past her nursery. My phone was on the counter. She changed the routine. My phone was on the counter. She changed the routine, and I'd forgotten to drop her off. My phone was on the counter. 9 hours. In that car. That baking sun. No air. No water. No power. No help. That heat. The steering wheel too hot to the touch. That smell. I walked to the car door. Numb. Shook. I opened the door. My phone was on the counter. My daughter was dead. Autopilot disengaged.